This is the websites.ca podcast, where we help Canadian small businesses build and maintain an effective website and online presence.
Hey everybody, it's Sean Corbett again, websites.ca marketing. Very interesting episode for you this month. What I have on the president of elaunchers.com. This is Parthiv Shah. He runs one of the premier digital marketing agencies in North America. He's worked with the godfather of marketing, Dan Kennedy, and he's a recognized expert in marketing funnels, physical mailings, and interestingly enough, recently he was invited to join the executive board of the International Academy of Ceramic Implantology. So we have a really interesting case study today. He's going to walk us through his case study of how he helps dentists massively grow their implant business, which should give you tons of marketing ideas for your own business, even if you're not a dentist. So Parthiv, welcome.
Hey, thank you very much, man.
Yeah, thanks for being here. Could you tell the audience a little bit about your background and experience with marketing?
Sure. So I'm a data scientist, and I come from the world of direct mail marketing. So I've mailed more than 1 billion pieces of direct mail. And I have worked for more than 10,000 projects. So I have ran the same exact spreadsheet, same exact number 10,000 times or more. And my love for dentistry started when I was hired by a super dentist in Kennedy Circle. And then he became a coach. So his coaching members started hiring me. And in my lifetime, I have worked for 679 clients. And so a couple hundred dentists, and it works very well for me. There are only two types of people on earth, Sean: dentists and non-dentists. Would you agree with that or not?
That sounds like it checks out logically.
So you are either a dentist or you are a non-dentist. So what we are going to talk about for dentists can work for you if you're a doctor of other body parts. So ophthalmology, hair, audiology, pain clinic, cosmetic surgery, anything that does not, a chiropractor, physical therapist, anything that does not require insurance or government to pay for it.
Got it. Okay.
But the system can also work for lawyers, financial advisors, coaches, consultants, anyone who makes money by appointment. The system is unlikely to work if you have a small ticket, or if you're a retail or a restaurant, or if you are an incidental lawyer like bankruptcy or personal injury. So the system that I want to talk about is a long-term nurture, staying in touch and indoctrinating. So those who say no today will buy tomorrow. So if you are a kind of lawyer, I call them happy lawyers. If you are an estate planning attorney, if you are a intellectual property attorney, if you're an immigration attorney, the system is likely to work. So put yourself in the shoes of the dentist. How much time do we have, Sean, on this episode?
Parthiv, we can talk as long as you like to talk. Typically it goes about 30 minutes, but no problem going over if we really want to get into it. So actually that brings to mind really the first question, which is that if one was to approach advertising for dentists, I think one of the hurdles, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, would be there's a timing issue. If someone thinks they don't need dental assistance, dental services, then it makes it a little bit more difficult for the marketer, because now you have to get them, put them on the list, and like you said, keep them engaged until the timing is right. Would you say that's kind of an accurate pain point to solve for you?
And that is true for any business. When you spend money on marketing, you're going to drum up energy at the top of your funnel, but only a subset of that energy is going to come down to the bottom of the funnel where you can pitch and close and they can say yes or no.
Mhm.
Vast majority of them, more than 90% of them, will get stuck at the top and in the middle of the funnel. You spend money on marketing, you generate leads. You don't even get to pitch and close them.
Yeah.
So you want to push them along and nurture them and educate them on the subject of you have a problem and therefore your life sucks. And fortunately, I'm here and I have solved this problem before. And if you believe that this to be true, this one little thing to be true, I think you will find what I do to solve the problem really interesting. I have written a piece of property that you will find interesting. I have a free report or I have a checklist or some kind of a lead magnet that I would like to share with you. And that will help you decide what you should do now that we have determined that you have this problem.
I'm really glad you mentioned the lead magnet because that brings me to my first major question. You have a very robust giveaway offer. And I think it would be helpful to talk to the audience a little bit about how you approached putting together that offer, basically from market research, from your past experience, that kind of thing, because you've assembled not just a simple checklist giveaway, you kind of have a very irresistible offer giveaway with lots and lots of facets to it.
Sure. So, Sean, you can see me on the video, but people can't. So,
yeah.
I'm going to describe what you see.
Sure.
I do 2 Comma Club awards from ClickFunnels. And the second one came post-COVID, and I had to rebuild my revenues that I lost in COVID, right? Because all the dentists and non-dentists were shutting down, they turned their marketing off. I lost 95%+ of my revenue in 2.5 days in March of 2020. I got 14 people, Sean. And I gathered the crew and say, okay, nobody's getting laid off, nobody's getting fired, nobody's getting their hours cut, nobody's getting their hourly rate cut, and no vendors getting paid late. I'm going to hustle up in a business for us to survive and thrive. And I went to Kennedy and Russell Martino and said, okay, guys, this is what happened, make it rain. And then we crafted an offer. And that offer carried me. I stopped losing money in August. I did 1.1 million in 2019. I did 710 in 2020. So significant drop, but we still didn't lose money. And in 2021, I did $1.2 million. And that's what the second offer, the second trophy is for. So my offer, my current very well converting offer to non-dentist and to the dentist is take my system, take Parthiv out, put yourself in. 5 funnels, 1 campaign, you can have it for free. All you have to do is go to www.freegrowthsystem.com. You would be invited to take my funnels, they're free. All you do is pay for software. You do have to pay for ClickFunnels because that's what the funnels are. And you do have to pay for Keep because that's where the campaign is.
Yeah.
I would give them to you at no charge. I don't need to get paid. I only get paid if you want me to build you bespoke funnels or customize my funnels with your story in it. So this is the offer for non-dentists. Dentists are attracted to it too, but what are you going to do with 5 funnels and a campaign? Even with a 5 file. So for dentists, I have an even more irresistible offer. You see, if you're a dentist, and if I want to grow my business by growing your practice, I have to grow your business. Now let's talk about implants. An implant case would cost about $6,000 on an average. Some would charge less money, but then you have to pay for crown. If you have multiple implants, that's $10,000. If you're going to take all the teeth out and put a full arch, that's $12,000, $14,000, $15,000 in the US. So on average, an implant patient is worth about $6,000. Okay. So you need 167 of those to make $1 million in growth. Now, if you're a dentist and you're not making minimum wage and not driving Corolla and living a doctor's life, you need to be making about $300,000 per year per day you work in practice. So if you're working, say, 3.5 days, you need about $1 million in top line production, because that would yield about $300,000 in gross profit. If you need that, you need to get more doctors, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Now, patients say no all the time. They say no by filling out a lead form but not booking an appointment, booking an appointment and not showing up, showing up and listening to you and then say, I'll call you back to book it, to schedule treatment, or just say, no, I'm not interested. Mm-hmm. Now, when a patient says no, they're not saying no to you. They're not saying no to implant. They are saying no to man.
Yes.
So if I can educate them, send them a book that you wrote, send your shock and awe package, a consumer guide to choosing implants, show them a photo book, send them home with a page out of my photo book that looks exactly like them case-wise, and tell them to come back where we will answer your questions. But in reality, they're coming back to me for answering my question. Are we going to have you do the implant or not? And if you're not going to do implant, I have two other options of, you could do a partial, you could do a crown and a bridge, or you could do an implant. Mm-hmm. So we want to bring them back for a clinically sound but fiscally attractive alternative, because doing nothing is usually the worst option, and most people go with doing nothing. When a patient
of course.
So do you, they're not going to go to another dentist and book an appointment. They're going to live with a missing tooth.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's not always, especially with dental work, it's not always that there's a competitor. Sometimes the competitor is their procrastination and willingness to live with the pain.
Exactly.
Yeah. So when you're talking about, so just to give the audience a nice 30,000 foot view here, we're talking about engaging these prospects who maybe are not quite ready to buy now. You're putting them on what you said was, a keep email list. And it also sounds like you're giving them physical mailouts. So I wanted to just talk about foundationally about a couple of these concepts. One, we could maybe talk about the sort of online to offline, offline to online concept that some people might not be familiar with. But I also wanted to ask you before we get into that, for this particular dental offer, what platforms, what arenas are you using to initially find those leads? Like you said, when maybe they say, no, not right now, or when they say maybe, how are you finding those people initially?
My dentist makes between $1 and $4 million and looking to grow. So they and if you're making between 1 and 4 million, you already have patients.
Right.
So what I do is I look into Dental Intel. That's a software that I use to find current patients and see who is a candidate for implant, sedation, cosmetic, ortho, or Invisalign, where we presented the case and they say no.
Yeah.
If I can find a few hundred of those, so look, if you have $1 million in practice, you probably have 1,200 active patients and 3,000 to 4,000 inactive patients. That's just normal.
Yep. That checks out. Yeah, that makes sense.
If you have a $2 to $4 million practice, or if you have 2, 3 locations, the problem amplifies. So I just look for several hundred current and past patients who I want to pitch a significant dentistry to. And then we send them postcards, 3 postcards, 3 days apart. It costs 60 cents to send a postcard.
Beautiful. And that's so from those 3 postcards, then that's where you get the maybes, the yeses, the no responses, and then that kind of triggers the rest of your campaign.
I have 12 postcards that I leave, appointment not booked cards.
Yeah.
So let's say you are using an agency to do Facebook advertising or Google pay-per-click advertising. I don't do that, but I'm a direct mail guy. So I'll tell you my direct mail strategy in a minute. But let's say you give someone $2,500 plus $1,000 in ad spend, and they're going to generate 200 Facebook leads for implant. Oh, but we don't have. We only have 14 appointments, and out of 14 appointments, only 3 people walk.
Yeah.
Let's get the physical addresses. In US, I can buy the data of if I have their email and mobile number, I can match them to their physical address.
So you're going to a list broker to do that, or do you have your own internal system for that?
I go to IDI. They
Okay.
data. I am a list broker, so I have 100 different vendors that I use.
Okay.
So in US, the data is very easy to get. Canada, it is a little more complicated, but most American strategies will work in Canada. So I have appointment not booked postcards, 3 postcards to people who book an appointment or who don't book an appointment.
Yeah.
I have 3 postcards for appointment no show, because a typical dentist would have between 20 and 30% appointment no show. People have fear and anxiety, and they book an appointment because they know they need it, and they don't show because they would rather not see it.
Yes.
I have appointment no show postcards. What do most doctors do? They make you sign a damn paper that says if you don't show up, we are going to bill you $65.
Yep.
So there is this confrontational, semi-aggressive relationship between the doctor and the patient, where the doctor's staff have an attitude of, oh, you are here, why did you show up? More work for me. There is an acute shortage of people. Be grateful to those who showed up. And give me your insurance paper and wait right there, I'll talk to you in 10 minutes. Or they make you sign a paper, a little thing, where you put your name as to what time is your appointment, what time you showed up. So the front office experience is not very patient-friendly.
Mm-hmm.
There are reasons why people would book an appointment and not show. if you send your cousin to secret shop you, and if you can have that user experience taped and then watch it, you will know why you have appointment no show. I'm not going to fix your staff, but I have 3 posts that can go to people who book an appointment and not show, saying, hey, you booked an appointment, something must have come up, why didn't you come in, right? The next sequence of postcard is appointment no sell.
Mm-hmm.
So you come, we fit, I tell you it's $6,000 and you say no. Well, I want you to come back for a follow-up appointment where another doctor in my clinic can give you a second opinion.
And is that also the appointment where you send them home with some of the educational materials?
Yep, I'll come to that in a minute. Right now, I'm just talking about my 12 postcards.
Sure.
So at the appointment, pre-appointment, we send them a shock and awe package.
Okay.
At appointment, I have a case presentation material that I walk in with that you walk out with. If you say yes, we FedEx you a new patient welcome experience box. At the end of treatment, we will send you the new patient end of treatment celebration box. If you give us a referral, we send you a thank you for giving us a referral box. So there are user experiences in print and everything is automated. But I digressed. I was talking about my 12 postcard marketing campaign. So appointment no sell card is designed to have you come back for a second appointment.
Yep.
Not everybody will come in for a second appointment, but nearly everyone who come in for a second appointment will buy. And here is the genius, we call it neighborhood marketing cards. If a patient buys, you want to send a postcard to the neighbor here, neighbor here, neighbor in front, neighbor in back, because the neighbors who live next door to your patient are same similar age, demographic, psychographic, income, and are likely to have same home equity.
Okay.
So one thing I do is, in Facebook advertising, you do lookalike audience.
Yes.
In direct mail, what I do is I take your 1,200 active patients. So $4 million, there are 1,200 active patients.
Yep.
I would find 5,000 to 10,000 neighbors of those active patients and send out 3 to 6 postcards a year to those 10,000 people. So here's my gift to your audience, Sean.
Yeah.
I took my entire lifetime of work on implant. So it has 36 unique marketing ideas like this postcard. My shock and awe package, my case presentation packet, my chairside marketing.
Yep.
So any dentist wants my implant marketing system that has these 36 marketing ideas. They can go to sellmoreimplants.com. And if you're a non-dentist, you can take my 5 funnels and 1 campaign, and I'll just give it to you, no charge. I'll need 20 minutes. If you have ClickFunnels, I just copy it in your account. If you don't, start a funnel. And then if you can do it yourself, or you could hire anybody you want to hire to get all the work done. And if you get stuck, my staff can fix that haircut for short money. Or you would hire my team to do everything and I would get a client and a friend. But if you accept my gift, I get a friend. So I make a lot of friends and a few of them become clients. And that's how I grow. So to close the loop that we started at the beginning of the podcast, you say, how do I come up with an offer? Look what I just I am selling my intellectual property. I'm cheerfully giving it away to build a relationship, establish trust, and hopefully a subset of those would possibly hire me.
Yeah, I mean, it makes complete sense. And I would recommend that the listeners actually go to both landing pages and do both downloads, because even if you're not a dentist, so the non-dentist one, again, we'll put this in the show notes, freegrowthsystem.com. For the dentists, sellmoreimplants.com. But I would personally recommend that even if you're not a dentist, you go to sellmoreimplants.com, download it, look at what Parthiv is doing, because you're going to get ideas for your own business one way or the other if you pay attention. And also, before I give it over to you for the final thoughts, Parthiv, I wanted to make sure I highlight something so that no one skips over it. You had a very interesting, very profitable, but more importantly, very efficient answer when I asked, where are you getting the leads? The answer for people who missed it was that you, in most cases, if you're a semi-successful to successful business, you already have a list of customers, ex-customers, and maybe customers. And so there's no excuse to not start marketing to them immediately. You don't have to whine about building an email list or anything like that, right? Because what you just said, Parthiv, is they're sitting on a gold mine from these different angles, obviously. Parthiv, last thought goes to you. What would you like to say about this whole topic we've been talking about today?
So, guys, we have two enemies that are coming at us, and one of them can be lethal. Unfortunately, both are coming to us: inflation and recession. If you don't grow your business by 30%, your 2021 paycheck or 2019 paycheck will not sustain your 2025 lifestyle. Growth is not optional. Business growth is mission critical to survival. You can exit and go get a job, but if you want to be a business owner and a successful business owner in 2025, you better have 30% annual growth for the next 3 years. At the top, without compromising the profitability at the bottom. So grow, because your government wants more taxes from you. Your staff wants more money from you. Your vendors want more money from you. And if you're listening to Sean's podcast, you are America's rainmaker. You are Canada's rainmaker. You are the breadwinner for the nation. Make more money than what you are used to making, because your staff, your vendors, your wife, your husband, your kids, your city, your county, and your country depends on you to make more money.
Very well said. Folks, marketing growth is not an option anymore. And the best time to start on a campaign like Parthiv is talking about would have been yesterday. So you better get rolling. Parthiv, I really appreciate you taking the time to come chat with us today.
Thank you very much.
If you're not satisfied with your current website or the service you get from your provider, you can switch to websites.ca for free and get a great support team behind you. Just visit business.websites.ca. That's BUSINESS.websites.ca, or email Ryan directly at ryan@websites.ca.
Thanks for listening, guys. Catch you next time.